Hello, as we head into Halloween, I wanted to circle back with you on our practice profit report on one that really sums up what this is all about. Now, of course, okay, I'm here to help you have a better life. And I want you to know who you are as a dentist as well as okay, in your life, okay, to define your own success, to plan out your own dreams. I always say, okay, the goal is to live life on your own terms. As a matter of fact, I have something so kick-ass and very special coming up in October. It's like a daily blitz of motivation and direction, decisive action that I just know you're going to think it's fantastic, and you'll be getting some information about that pretty soon, okay? If you're interested in betting your best and taking it to the next level. Today, what I wanted to share with you is really what boils down to this whole thing of influence that we talk about. Now, I happen to love magic, okay, and certainly believe in real life magic and far more than just the Disney World type. So I wrote up here on the board, very simple understanding that influence is magic and magic is influence. You think about it, okay, if we're talking about a magician, okay, they're influencing you to believe a certain way. Okay, whether that's illusions or misdirection or sleight of hand or some bigger, bolder, more crazier thing. Okay, they call them magic tricks. Okay, and the reality of it is it's magic influence. And so I would like to suggest that you too are a magician. As a matter of fact, your team is a magician. I have been a magician in your life of taking what you originally thought was possible and showing you what most people would say isn't possible and then making that a new reality. Okay, we do that by following a very simple set of steps. So I'm going to walk you through those steps here very quickly. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about with you and your team, how are you doing this? As a matter of fact, even with your spouse and your kids, how are you doing this? Whether in this case, if it's on the phone, if it's in the intake process, if it's in the diagnostic discovery phase, if it's in the actual delivery of dentistry or the procedural phase, or it's the presentation of the pathway to health. In every single aspect of what we do, I want you to think of influence is magic and magic is influence. So what are we doing to expand people's minds and get them to believe something bigger than what they once thought, or different, even just different, doesn't have to be bigger than what they once thought. So it's very simple. First of all, you have to have a vision of the outcome, right? So in all cases, you remember that tell them what you're going to tell them. Okay, tell them what you told them, and tell them. So and the speech and the way things go, you always begin first by sharing where we're going to take this thing. So you're planting subconscious seeds in the mind of what the ultimate outcome is. So the vision of the outcome is the key. That's actually the anchor, all right? Next, we're going to begin with reality. We're bringing them all the way back down to a sense of believability, of practicality, of this is real and true. Now, we do begin with reality with the three Ps. Pictures, proof, and pain. With the diagnostic process, the discovery. On the phone, we do that with questions in order to get the patient to share in their minds where they are today. But we always start first by what our objectives are. What is the vision? What is the outcome? What is the promise? What is our why? Okay? And then with the reality. The next part of this is then moving to the future. So once we go reality, then we go back to future vision. So we first start with here's the goals and objectives. Here's where you are right now. Let's talk about the future. Now, sometimes the future is if nothing changes, and sometimes the future is if everything changes. You have to decide what type of influence you're after, right? Very important, because the only way we're going to get people to invest, into some future concept that hasn't yet happened is through believability. And that is where we have to book into here's what's possible, or here's where you are. And we have to make that inspiring and motivating and exciting enough to bridge the gap in between. And that's the next one, to bridge the gap in between. So in magic, that's when the trick actually happens. So the majority of all of it is the setup. The entire part is the setup. Okay? It's backstory, it's understandability, it's anchoring the mind, and then it's the misdirection. So we go with mission, okay, reality, okay, future, and then we do the trick, right? We do the trick. And a lot of the trick in dentistry in this case is demonstration, or it's getting the patient to verbally explain what the impact will be like in their life. This is the clinical yes, okay? Now, this applies in every single aspect of the patient experience. In fact, when you do your connected patient experience, when we do our connected patient experience with your team, okay, in our advanced dental success transformation training, we're actually going through the influence points of every single position. That's what we're doing. So I just want to finalize this and say, this begins with your belief in what you do, your belief in the value of what you do, your belief in that the patient, okay, is going to want this because they walked in voluntarily. So it all starts with your belief. Just like the magician, their belief is the key to everything. Okay, your belief is the key to everything. Because before the patient can believe, the magician has to believe. Next, your belief buys their confidence. Okay, their confidence is like, the hypnotist cannot hypnotize the skeptical participant, right? So it's the same deal. Your belief is what gets their confidence. And when you have their confidence, then their belief is easy. Next is your alignment. The alignment of everything is dialed in. Like there can be no mistakes here, okay? There can be no team members who screw it up. There can be no words out of whack. There can be no steps in the patient experience. Okay, no ingredients in the recipe, okay, that can be, out of kilter or whatever word you would say. So you're in alignment with the entire process. That's ultimately what will get their commitment to be all in. When you have a patient's commitment to be all in, there's nothing that can get in the way of that. Not insurance, not money, not time, not objections, not skepticism, not anything. And so these two things work together, okay? They work together to create magic. They work together to build your influence. Okay? The mission, the why, okay, the vision of the outcome. Then bringing it back down to what we can all agree to. Where are we today, right now, here? And when you get that sort of agreement, that alignment of reality is what you're setting yourself up for. Also, the alignment of the future. The alignment of what the objectives are to make possible in the first place. And then finally, you build the bridge in between. That's the magic trick. But it all comes back to your belief, buys their confidence, and your alignment creates their commitment. Once you have that, you will be able to create real life magic every single day with every patient you see. And you can do the exact same thing in your life. And as a matter of fact, that's what I'm about to do. Okay, I'm going to take you through real life magic. Okay, one day at a time, one decision at a time, in a very special upcoming concept that you're going to absolutely love. No matter where you are in your age or stage in your life, we're going to take it to the top. So I want to finish with this. To see what is right and not do it is a lack of courage. As a magician, you can see, as a person of influence, as a doctor, you can see what is right. You must have the courage to carry that out. And then finally, somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. You must believe it's your job to make the unknown known in the patient's mind. And you must believe it is your leadership and your most significant responsibility that somewhere, something, for someone, you're going to make something incredible possible for them. And that is the magic of influence. And it is the influence that creates and makes magic happen every day for every person. And you hold that power in your hands.